Think you're brave when it comes to food. Maybe you've tackled a giant burger, devoured raw sushi, or even tested your limits with sauces so spicy they bring tears to your eyes. But brace yourself, because today I'm taking you on a chilling culinary journey through 3 dishes that are infamous for testing the limits of courage. Tietka, a cold, crimson soup of fresh blood that glimmers like moonlight. A mysterious concoction of intestines and stomach that packs the rugged spirit of the mountains, and asterisk tuna eyeballs pho, where you find yourself staring right into the hollow gaze of your dinner. These aren't just foods, they are challenges for the bravest souls, iron stomachs, and most importantly, those who crave a story to tell. With a mix of pride and a little fear in their voice, are you ready to face the dishes that make even the boldest eaters hesitate? Pia, Vietnam. Today, we're diving into a culinary experience so terrifying that just hearing about it might make you wonder why anyone would willingly put themselves through it. Let's talk about Pia, a dish known for testing not only the limits of your stomach, but also your courage. If you think you've eaten strange foods before, think again. Pia is a whole new level of bizarre, capable of making even the bravest souls reconsider their life choices. Pia, also called Nam Pia, is a dish that originates from Vietnam's northwestern highlands. It's made from a thick, viscous mixture found inside the intestines of grazing animals like buffalo, cows, and goats. Yes, you heard that right. It's the partially digested food these animals have eaten, mixed with digestive fluids, bile, and whatever else is still left in their stomachs. Imagine something halfway between a mushy fermented paste and a digestive stew, with the unmistakable aroma of freshly processed intestines. If that sounds bad, it's actually even worse. The moment you take your first bite of Pia, it hits you. You've just made a big mistake. The intense bitterness from the bile fills your mouth and coats your throat. But the texture makes it even more difficult. It's slimy, stretching the experience out longer than anyone would want, making each swallow a fight against your own survival instincts. Eating Pia feels like your body is screaming at you, "This should not be consumed." With half-digested food, stomach fluids, and an odor that reminds you of being way too close to a cattle barn, it's less a culinary experience and more a test of pure willpower. The origin story of Pia is no less strange. The tale goes that in Guizhou, China, a man who suffered from a stomach ailment watched grazing animals and wondered why they were so healthy. Instead of simply eating grass, he decided to go straight for the partially digested contents inside their intestines. Miraculously, his health improved, and thus the magic of intestine juice was born. From then on, Pia became a tradition, one passed down through generations for those brave enough to take the plunge. These days, restaurants have tried to make Pia more palatable for outsiders. Some of the more intense elements have been toned down, but the dish retains its slimy texture and signature bitterness enough to haunt anyone who gives it a try. Just getting a whiff is enough to make many people reconsider. Pia is not just a food, it's a challenge, one that separates truly adventurous eaters from the rest. So, do you think you're brave enough to try Pia, or has reading about it already convinced you to stay far away? For those seeking extreme culinary adventures, Pia may be the ultimate test, but be warned. This dish is not for the faint of heart. Blood pudding, Vietnam. Blood pudding, a chilling specialty of Vietnam, an experience that anyone should think twice about before deciding to participate. The first time I witnessed the process of making blood pudding, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had stepped into a live horror movie scene. They begin by selecting a healthy animal, a pig, a duck, or a goat, and then immediately collect the fresh blood after cutting its throat. This thick scarlet liquid, still hot and full of life, is enough to make the faint-hearted turn away at the mere sight of it. Fresh blood, still frothing and warm, is promptly mixed with fish sauce to prevent it from clotting. The characteristic pungent, metallic smell lingered, hanging in the air, making me feel a little lightheaded. Into the bowl of blood, the cook skillfully mixed in finely chopped innards, liver, and meat, all internal organs from the animal, each with its own distinctive flavor and texture, but all coming together in this mixture to form a red soup that seemed designed to test one's nerves. Looking at the deep red color with bits of liver and intestines floating around, I couldn't help but think of chilling images of life and death intertwined right before my eyes. When the bowl of blood pudding was placed before me, it looked like something from another world, thick, bright red with an unsettling quality. The surface was garnished with roasted peanuts, herbs, and chopped scallions, seemingly to soften the gruesomeness beneath, but in reality only adding to its haunting appeal. I took a deep breath and raised a spoonful to my mouth. The metallic taste of blood rushed straight up my nose, lingering in my throat. It wasn't just the metallic taste, there was also the saltiness of the fish sauce, the nuttiness of the peanuts, and the soft, gelatinous feel of the liver and intestines. Every bite of blood pudding felt like a mental challenge. Could I keep going? The viscous fluid seemed to spread through my mouth, and I couldn't help but imagine I was swallowing the very essence of life from an animal. Each time I swallowed, I had to force myself to overcome the nausea and rising fear inside. At times, I felt goosebumps all over my body as I thought about the fact that what I was eating had once been a part of something alive, still fresh and warm. For those who are used to it, blood pudding is an addictive dish, but for me it was an experience filled with shivers, a compelling, irresistible chill, but also one that made me question whether I would ever have the courage to try it again. Blood pudding is not just a dish, it's a journey of confronting life, death, and one's limits. It's an intense adventure, and with each swallow, you feel like you've just overcome a challenge, but also one that leaves a haunting impression that I might never forget. Tuna eyeball. Japan. Have you ever stared straight into the eyes of your dinner? Welcome to the strange and fascinating world of Japanese cuisine, where the phrase, "the eyes are the window to the soul," can be taken very literally. Introducing the infamous Enpo tuna eyeball. A dish that features a giant, shiny orb looking back at you as if it's a mysterious witness straight out of a Japanese horror film. And the best part, when you eat it, you can't shake the eerie feeling that your dinner is silently judging you. So, you think you're brave enough, huh? From the first moment you see it, pun intended, you feel an immediate tension. It's big, round, and almost unnervingly glossy, like something straight out of an anime. If you're brave enough to take the challenge, you might find yourself in a strange staring contest. And let's face it, you're already at a disadvantage. It can't blink after all. The awkwardness only intensifies as you realize that you're actually going to have to pick this thing up with chopsticks and put it in your mouth. It feels less like a dining experience and more like a prank, except you're the only one playing. Tuna eyeballs are typically prepared by steaming or boiling them, usually with a bit of soy sauce, ginger, or sake. Let's be honest though, no amount of seasoning will make you forget that you're about to eat an eyeball. Kind of looks like a golf ball that's been freshly dunked in seawater with a little seaweed garnish. And then comes the real test, biting into it. The flesh around the eye is surprisingly fatty, with a texture somewhere between egg white and something a lot more oily. Imagine trying to convince yourself that you're eating pudding, but it's clearly not pudding. And then there's the cornea, chewy and tough, like trying to eat a piece of rubber. If someone tells you to chew slowly and enjoy, it's clear they're just trying to test your patience. If you manage to get through all of that, congratulations, you've done more than eat a weird dish. You've survived an unforgettable experience. It's the kind of story you'll tell your friends who will think you're either incredibly brave or out of your mind. At least you can take comfort in knowing it's full of omega-3 and collagen. Maybe your skin will even glow as brightly as that eyeball once did. So if you're looking for a meal that's equal parts scary and hilarious, the tuna eyeball is perfect. It's not just food. It's a challenge that makes you question your life choices. But hey, It's also one heck of a story, and remember, the eye is always watching, even as you eat it. We've reached the end of our journey through 3 of the world's most chilling dishes, tiapia and tuna eyeballs. These foods are not for the faint of heart. They're true challenges that push the boundaries of what most of us would even consider putting on our plates, but that's what makes them so thrilling, right? If you found yourself both terrified and intrigued by these culinary adventures, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more trips into the strange, surprising, and often spooky world of unique global cuisines. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with us through all the twists and turns and innate intestines of this food journey. Remember, if you think you're brave enough, we've got plenty more surprises up our sleeves. Stay curious, stay adventurous, and until next time, keep that iron stomach ready. You never know what bizarre bite might be next on the menu.